we don't turn to God as a friend or a human being. You know, not that of course he's not a human being, but when he walked on this earth, he showed us how to live as a human being. But we don't talk to God that way. We talk to him as some remote entity that we go to when there's a disaster in our life. And of course, he's much more than that. And that's what you want to teach children and grandchildren in particular, is that God is an integral part of. They wouldn't be around if there wasn't a God, and he's certainly an integral part of our everyday life.
I've been asked by preachers, why don't we ever see you at church? And I said, well, does God tell you what to say to your flock? And after they stutter a little while, they say, well, yes. And I said, well, me too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had people say, Clay, don't you fear God? Don't you fear God? And I said, no. Why would I fear my Father?
Mm-hmm. The problem with church and some people today is that they will say that God is in church, and they equate church with a building, and church really is everywhere. Church is not. It's of course it's in a building, but church is on the street corner or in the supermarket or on the playground. You know, wherever we happen to be, we're called to create church.
Or right here, right now, the information you're giving is going right into somebody's living room, right there in somebody's computer, and what you just said is totally accurate.
Absolutely.
And I've told people a long time. I said, what? Go to church? Well, every time I walk out that door, I'm in church. When I'm sitting here, I'm in church. And
that's correct.
You know, I also disagree a little bit with this whole original sin. You know, I think children are born with knowledge of good and evil, and it's just up to us grandparents and parents to reinforce that information. This is good, you know. Boys, I'll back you up for anything. Don't lie and don't steal.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, helping children understand the difference between right and wrong, good and evil. That's not a job that we have. That's not a career that we have as a parent or a grandparent. That's a vocation that we have. You know, that's what we're called to do, and that's our primary responsibility. Everything else comes after that, and I don't think enough parents and grandparents realize that or accept that vocation, really.
Yeah, in the chat room, they're pointing out, according to biblical law, kidnapping is a capital offense.
Correct.
And Truth Pilgrim says, I can't find a church anywhere that's actually based on the Bible. You know, the teachings you're here, you know, you did get a lot of this from your church, and I appreciate that being the teaching and the inspiration being there. But you're also accurate about, we got a church for anywhere we go. Anytime two of us get together, two or more get together, you know, God's there, isn't he?
Right. And that's exactly what, yeah, that's right. You quoted right directly from the Bible. That's exactly correct. But I don't think enough people hear that or understand that. And so then God remains remote in their lives and not really as close as he should
be. Your book, I mean, this the way this is designed, it just appeals to such a broad range. This is the book you take home, you read, and you hand to your son or daughter and say, you know, I want you to read this. I mean, you touch on so many things. Give us some more examples of the chapters in here. Again, I haven't been through the whole thing, but I will.
Well, there are chapters on faith, hope, love, courage, responsibility, drugs and alcohol, death, how to deal with conflict, many topics like that. They're all relatively short chapters, 3 and 4 pages at the most, and concisely summarize, you know, what I would hope Ethan and other grandchildren and children would be able to absorb from my own. As I say, we all make mistakes and miracles, so lessons that I've learned throughout my years of being a parent and hopefully all those little topics on there. You know, the best topic of all is, I think, begins and ends the book. And the last chapter in the book is on miracles, and how we're called to make miracles in our own life. And I actually tell the true story of a family out in Texas that actually experienced a miracle, and quite a significant one. And then the first chapter is on, you know, what's your purpose in life, and a lesson that I learned early on when I was in school from a professor who shared with us this insight that, you know, there's a lot of smart people in the world, but the most important thing in life, the most important purpose in life, is to know people, to engage people, and to uplift people. And so there are topics like that all throughout the book, and hopefully your listeners will enjoy it.
You, in this last chapter, you revealed that you died at birth and came back. I've died at least twice and came back.
Yes, quite an experience, and something that I think has colored my own view of life in the world today. And you know, it's like that in and of itself is a miracle.
What kind of work do you do, Tom?
I'm a retired marriage and family therapist. I was a marriage and family therapist for 25 years. And now I'm the president, as you know, of the American Family Foundation, which is a 501c3 not-for-profit foundation here in Florida. We're in the Tampa area, and that's what I do full time. And I also do a lot of talks in churches. I have a presentation that gets requested a lot, which is called Faith, Family, and Miracles, and we do that absolutely at no cost. We just go into the church and do the program for families, and we have a lot of fun.
Great. If you again, your website is
www.legacynationusa, all one word, legacynationusa.com. That's if they want to join Legacy Nation. If they don't, and they just want to get the book, they can go to letterstoethan, all one word, .com, and pick up the book there as well.
Okay, and you've got, again, you're looking for these letters from people that are writing to their children or grandchildren?
Yeah, they can go on, let's say somebody like you want to leave a note or a letter to their child or grandchild today. They could go on legacynationusa.com. There's a special section on there called Legacy Letters. They can post that letter. There's no charge to do that at all. And we review those letters periodically, and for every letter we like, we will include that in a future book. And if we select a letter to be included in a future book, we will actually send a complimentary copy of that new book to whoever writes the letter.
Yeah, let me share some of the people that have read the book. Rudy Rutinger, who was the inspiration for the movie Rudy, said, "Letters to Ethan will make you laugh one minute and cry the next. Most importantly, Tom McQueen's emotionally riveting letters to his grandson offer parents and grandparents incredibly powerful life lessons that their kids and grandkids can use as guideposts for their ongoing growth and development." And
yeah, that was Rudy. I don't know if you've did you ever see that movie, Rudy? That was years ago.
Yes, I seem to remember that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that was a tremendous movie based on a true story of a young man who didn't want to give up on his hopes and dreams and wanted to play football at the University of Notre Dame. And he's just a great person, has his own foundation out in Nevada there, and he's a grandfather too. So I had 3 grandfathers actually encourage me on the book, and you read one of them there, Rudy, and the other 2 were Lou Holtz, who was the former football coach at Notre Dame, great person living down here in Orlando now, and also Dick Vitale at ESPN. All 3 grandfathers, all 3 Christians, and all 3 said, "You need to get that book out, Tom." So when I heard that, I was really motivated, and that's what helped me actually complete the book.
Yeah, I like what Coach Lou Holtz had to say too.